Hi guys, and welcome back to another sketch with me video. Hopefully I can do this properly. It's been kind of a while since I've done like a sketch with me video, so we'll see how this goes. I'm actually super close to finishing this sketchbook. I have about 10 pages double-sided left. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to do maybe a spread or two in the sketchbook. I'm still a little bit sick, so I do apologize if my throat just sounds weird, or if I sniffle a lot. I'll make sure to cut out as much of the weird sniffling, sneezing, gross bodily sounds from this video, but yeah, hopefully this will work. So today I wanted to do a gouache painting, probably on this side, which means maybe we'll sketch on this side. So you guys can probably see on this side there's some bleed through from some markers. Now I don't use alcohol markers often, but I decided to dig out a few that I did have and use those to color in Msuic, because Msuic's colors were fairly simple, and I did like the markers that I did have his colors. So yeah, I'm just going to see if we can switch to a better angle, and then we can start sketching some stuff here and then transfer it here. Okay, so let's see. I want to focus more on doing greens or kind of more brighter colors other than the figure. So I'm gonna default and draw Wonu. So we can just start with poses. I'm just using the palette Color ENO in the color pink, and this is a 0.7 lead. It's just colored lead, so it's easier for me to do cleaner sketches on top or do line art or anything that I need to do. It's very hard for you guys to see, which is unfortunate, because it's another reason why I don't like sketching on camera. Make them face this way, because I tend to make my chibis face the left, or any figure that I draw face the left. I need something to prop this sketchbook up, because this sketchbook's so thick. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's like a big difference between the left and the right side now. So I want to see if I can find something to prop it up. Piece of washi tape. Okay. I feel like because it's been a while since I've done a sketch with me, I haven't done any videos where I'm talking and drawing at the same time, so I do apologize if I am super quiet. But how many times have I done something like this? Probably too many. I think it's still cute. Let's see. This is probably not what you guys imagined for me to do a sketchbook, or like a sketch with me. It's been a while, definitely. This is cute though. I could change this to Msuic as well. Let's see. Think of something a little bit more cute. You can hear my laptop fan. Oh, should we do Wonu as a witch? I feel like I don't have a color scheme for him if I did that. Oh, this is cute. I think it'd be cute if I did Wonu as a witch. But I kind of don't want to do too much dark colors. So we'll see how this goes. Did I talk about this in a video yet? I got Raymond in my Animal Crossing town, or island. Super cute. I gave him round glasses the other day. Kind of looks like Wonu. Kind of like how short and stubby this one is. This one's not that bad. Not liking that one. I think I'm gonna stick with this one and keep it simple. I want him to look kind of like pouty a little bit. These two together, but I want to show maybe the underside of the leaf, or maybe I'll just stick with this one. I think this one's the cuter looking sketch. So I'm just gonna quickly erase this side because I did attempt to sketch something on this side. So you guys probably won't see this, so maybe I'll cut this out and I'll come back and do the tighter sketch, I guess. So be right back. Hi, okay, so we had some issues, or at least I had some issues. My microphone decided to stop recording after the sketching portion. So what that means is that I've lost all the audio for the remainder of this video, which means I have to do a voiceover for 20 minutes, which is great. Okay, so to explain and to catch up, so let's see. As for the sketch, I decided to do the cleaner sketch off screen as well as doing the initial sketch, like the one I did in the pink mechanical pencil, because I couldn't see the sketch, which means you guys couldn't see the sketch, and that's not beneficial for either of us. So I thought it'd be easier to just show the majority of the painting process. Now, as I'm recording this audio, the video is very laggy, so a lot of these things I'm gonna say is not gonna line up correctly to the visuals on the screen. At the moment, I'm using my Arteza Gouache. I've mixed up a light blue, kind of light, just a blue color, so we can knock out a lot of the color on the page, especially the noise in the background that was caused by the marker bleeding. So yeah, just going in with a number 10 round brush and doing that. Then moving on to skin. Now, when I was doing the skin, so the thing that sucks is that the voice recording that would have been part of the video, like real-time audio, would have been way more beneficial for you guys to listen to my rambling and like hearing my choices, because now that I'm explaining a lot of the things with all the mistakes and things I would have changed in hindsight, it's just gonna be a slightly different commentary. Not sure if it's gonna be as beneficial, but we'll see. So a lot of the lighter colors, as well as the colors that I'm layering in the first pass, are gonna be fairly translucent, so you're gonna still see a lot of the bleed through from the markers still underneath a lot of the colors that I'm still laying down. So especially in the face and the eyes and the leaf. Everything else, like the hair, the sweater, and the pants, are pretty much all darker colors, and I did do them a little bit more opaquely so that I don't have to do so many passes. As you can see, I'm adding white to Wanu's eyes, and that's just helping because usually I don't add white to I guess like the white parts for gouache, just because usually the paper is just white enough and I can just add shadows. But because there's a lot of bleed through, a lot of the discoloration is also in his face and his eyes, so I have to cover that up. As for the leaves, I've also have to do, I think I did 2 layers, 3 layers, 2 layers for the leaves, because you can see after when this first pass dries, it doesn't dry as opaque as I would liked, especially the top part. The bottom part didn't mind too much. I didn't mind the texture of the brown coming through as much, like near his hands and his just like the stem part basically. Yeah, I'm just filling in, blocking in color for now, not putting in much detail until later. This is literally the, I guess like how we called it back in university, is the ugly phase of the painting, where everything looks really raw and gross. Right now it looks really gross, only because a lot of the bleed through. Okay, so this is a mistake that I did, was I mixed too light of a skin tone for the second layer of skin. Now initially I did want to brighten up his skin a bit, but I feel like it wasn't necessary, just because if I made it opaque enough during the second layer, it would have been bright regardless. So right now his skin's very pale, but to fix that, because I don't like looking at his face at the moment, I decided to go ahead and paint in his eyes as well. So I painted in the shadow areas underneath where his eyelids are, and then I painted in the lighter part of his eyes, which is the light blue. And yeah, so I wanted to make sure his eyes were blue just to match with the background, because I would like to incorporate that light blue into the rest of the chibi painting. I decided to add in the darker blue for his eyelids, just to knock Wonu out of the ugly phase a little bit. It's not going to completely take him out of the ugly phase, but it helps define his face a little bit more. It makes me less frustrated to look at. So yeah, someone is home, so it's gonna be a lot more talking. As you can see, I am adding a purple color underneath where his hair is and where that meets the skin. And that portion, give me one sec. Okay, so basically that portion is the shadow where the hair meets his skin. And I started off with more of a purple base color. Later on you'll see me change it to more of a brighter reddish pink color, which I think helps bring in a little bit more warmth to his face, as he's very pale and very cool toned at the moment. I'm adding the shadows to his fingers to show where his fingers are bending. This helps to define shapes, give it a little bit more of a 3D effect as well. So stop lagging, please. I added in his cheeks in an attempt to also give a little bit more warmth to his face. Looks kind of cute. So then after that I decided to go straight into doing his hair. So his hair, I mixed a very dark brown color, so I used a little bit of phthalo blue and just burnt umber and some black, just to mix a really dark color. My attempt to make it very, how to explain this, very opaque didn't work. Definitely too watery, so when I added the second layer I tried to make sure that it was definitely more opaque. Then I wouldn't have to go over the hair too many times, because I would like it to be just one solid color and one solid shape. I hope you guys can't hear my stomach. I drank milk and my stomach can't handle dairy. Okay, now I don't know where I left off. Yeah, we're just filling in the rest of his hair with just as an opaque of a layer as we can. Okay, so after I did the hair, I believe I let it to dry. The video's so laggy, I don't know where we're at. Okay, yeah, I'm just adding a few strands of stray hair and adding a little bit of detail just to make his hair look a little bit more messier, a little bit fluffier. This kind of sucks. I lost that audio. Dang. Okay, so moving on, I am now working on his sweater. Now, similar to his hair, I will do my best to try to make it as opaque as I can in one pass. Now, I believe when I started working on his, I guess it's his left arm, technically it's his right arm, but the left side, I saw how not opaque it looked, so I just decided to fill in the rest of the body, and I thought that I would just have to do a second pass. Like, there was no point of me just trying to fiddle around getting it opaque as I could. So after I did the first pass, which you can see, I'm filling in the rest of his sweater, not caring how patchy this first layer is, which is a little bit frustrating for me in terms of using gouache. Watercolor for me is just easier to get stuff flat, and gouache is just very patchy. So yeah, you can see how patchy it is, especially in the lower left. I did mix up another blue and we're gonna go over it, and you can see the difference between the first patch and the first pass and the second pass. The second pass definitely makes it a lot more opaque, and my stomach. Yeah, I think it just looks a lot better before I can add in like highlights, shadows. I guess in this case I didn't add any shadows. I did the opposite and just added highlights and then added the line work. But yeah, look how clean it looks. Looks really nice when it's all flat. So I did the same for his pants. I believe his pants were fairly flat. I don't remember doing two passes for his pants. That, or I didn't care too much about it being as patchy, probably because I was gonna layer in, I guess it's glazing some colors on the sides of his pants just to add a little bit of different color differentiation. Let's see, I hate that shoe. I think that's like the one thing I don't like about this. It's just that one shoe, because it looks like not the same shoe as the other one. So oh, okay, so I'm working on the hair now instead of working on the rest of his pants. So for his hair, I do it a little bit differently compared to the clothing. So hair, I will do the line work first after doing the base color. And then after I do the line work, I will add in highlights. So that will include like changing the hue of the hair as well as adding the highlights to make the hair pop and really shiny. For the clothing, I tend to do the opposite. So I will add in highlights first, establish where those are, and then do the line work on top. It's just easier for me to understand. As you can see, I'm adding the remainder of the strands, and I picked out a... Oh, we're working on skin now. So this color, I decided to work on skin just because if I'm doing outlines, I might as well do all outlines. So I mixed up a light reddish brown color and decided to outline his skin. I botched his mouth a bit because he at some point looks like he's smirking, and then I tried to fix it and it just looked like that part of his mouth is just really drooping. Yeah, not my favorite part. But we'll fix it a little bit later when I add shadows back into his hair. Oh, we're doing that now. So basically I mixed up, like I mentioned earlier, is that I mixed up a more reddish pink color, and that reddish pink color will act as the shadow underneath where his hair meets his skin. And yeah, I like this color a little bit more than the purple that I mixed up earlier. I think it brings more warmth to his face. It's definitely more on the warmer side compared to that cooler purple that I used earlier. So just adding it to the other areas but had shadow before. I believe I already touched up his mouth, which I don't know if it got worse. But yeah, now we're adding some blue tones, blue color to his hair. I added a little bit of like a brownish purple at the tips just to check if I could add highlights right away, but I didn't mix the right color, so I ended up doing more blue into his hair as well as a little bit of green at the top, mixed towards the blue that's like near the center of his hair basically. This will help add a little bit of color differentiation. I can't say that word for some reason. Just changes and interest more for the hair instead of it being one flat color. Yeah. So next I am adding highlights to his clothing, and this helps make it a little bit more 3D looking, adding bolder, bigger shapes just to define the folds. My stomach. Hopefully this works out, and I mean the audio, because I'm worried. But yeah, after I done the highlights, I believe I moved on to his pants. So I did the highlights on the right side of his pants, and then I'm doing this pinkish purple color on the left side of his pants, just to give it a little bit more volume. As you can see, I went back and mixed up another dark black color, blackish, brownish, bluish color, and I'm redoing the line work because a lot of the lines near his forehead were covered from the shadow color that I mixed earlier. And then now I'm working on adding some highlights. So this is just to help the hair pop forward. This isn't the like shines of the hair quite yet. These are just the highlights basically for the hair strands, just to make them more defined and they can kind of pop out from one another instead of all them blending into one dark shape. Okay, so this initial orangey color is the color that I initially used for his hair shines. This really makes his hair look like a little bit shinier, defines the shape a little bit better as well. But I will add a brighter yellow color near the bottom portion of his highlights, and I feel like that helps like fix the highlights to be a lot brighter, a little bit more punchier, which looks a little bit nicer. But I don't add those until after I do the line work for the leaves. So right now I'm doing the shadow portion for the leaves, so that one back leaf as well as where the leaf folded on itself near like the right side of the corner. Nice. Okay, yeah, and I did do the bottom part of the stem just to give it a little bit of shadow as well. Now we're working on the line work for the clothing. I believe for the clothing I just mixed a dark blue, and apparently it was dark enough that I believe I used it for his pants as well. I'm so sorry that this voiceover is going to be super scattered. But yeah, I actually really like how his sweater and his pants came out. I think they look really cute, probably because of all those different colors. Oh, I already added the yellow apparently, so I added the yellow to his eyes, and then I used the yellow for his hair. I added a little bit of yellow towards his sweater and the right side of his pants on the one leg. Just looks a bit brighter and adds a little bit more interest. So yeah, I'm just bringing down that dark color to line the rest of his pants. I'm not sure why there's that weird like portion like after his calf on his left leg, like the inside of his left leg. It looks like it like juts out. It just looks weird. I should have just made it straight down and just bended it at the kneecap, because now it looks like he has something growing on his leg. Yeah, okay, so I think we're on the final stretch. This is literally just the last portion where basically everything of him is done. Wonu is basically done other than glasses, but I'm just doing the line work of the leaves. the 2 leaves on his head. I did the line down the center as well as a little bit of detailing for the leaf, but it looked too flat, so I'm adding a highlight color, which is just a really greenish yellow. For some reason I thought this was the color I added to his hair, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't. Looking at that really orangey yellow that is in his hair, it really suits it, and if I use this color I don't think it would have worked that well. Yeah, so now we're working on his glasses. I have slight regrets. I believe after I penciled in his glasses, I showed you guys to make sure you guys could remember what he looked like before I butchered it. He doesn't look that bad with the glasses. Not as cute as before, but I still think it looks nice. Maybe I'll go back and add shadows underneath like the rim of his glasses where it meets his face. Maybe it'll look a bit better. But yeah, I think that's about it. I did add a little bit of white near the top part of his, like the rim of his glasses, so it looks like it has lenses in there, which I think helps define his glasses a bit better. But yeah, here's a close-up. He's not too derpy. I feel like I said that for the other one too, the other gouache one. That's fine. I didn't really complete his shoes or anything. I wasn't really interested in it. Just wanted to basically paint his face and his clothes. But yeah, that's basically it. I've been doing this a bit in my sketchbook only to cover up the gouache portions. Basically, same with this Oh My Wanu. Wasn't to cover anything up, but it was still fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time, hopefully with a video with better audio. Bye!